she's at fault in messing up your marriage. And I'll explain my smile in a second. Okay, so put call in the comments if you want the coaching call and the training. And for now, we're going to go into this next section. She's at fault for messing up your marriage. Okay, let's kind of set some context here, because I don't know about you, but it sounds very satisfying to say that out loud, right? And I if you look at it, probably if you say it out loud, it might sound a bit satisfying for you also, right? Putting all the blame on her and just kind of Bob's your uncle, it's her fault. But if only things work this way. The reality is that where your marriage is at has nothing to do with who is right or wrong, or who there is to blame, because it's not about that. It's about responsibility for each party within the marriage. And the only thing that you can and should focus on is looking at your part, why the marriage is not working, and kind of owning those parts. And we're going to keep coming back to this again and again and again, because I told you, we focus on what you can't control, and we focus on what we know moves the needle. And those are the actions that you take and how you're showing up. Okay? When you do that, things start to fall in place magically, right? I said magically, but that's kind of bullshit, because there's a science behind it. There's no magic, really. When you start leading from a place of responsibility and owning each and everything that you are and how you're showing up, that you're responsible for in the marriage, it starts to spill over to your wife, and trust starts to get rebuilt. So, assuming you want to save your marriage, which is why else would you be here, let's kind of discuss the 3 steps to focus here, okay? So first one is awareness. You don't know what you don't know. There are things you did in marriage which contributed to the breakdown of it, and yet you have no idea that you did them, right? Most likely because those were automatic behaviors, right? Based on bullets. You need to get clear on what those areas are, and the best way to do that is through healthy masculine relationships. But these have to be men who don't judge you, who have been in your spot, and they have been able to actually save their marriage, right? Or rebuild themselves to a level where they have a great co-parenting relationship with their wife or ex-wife or girlfriend or long-term committed relationship, okay? And the key thing is, they should be able to give you insight without judgment and help you see those things, which you clearly haven't seen before. It's a huge value. And the fastest and most powerful and most impactful spot that can come from is healthy masculine relationships. All right? Second one, tools, right? Once you see the areas that actually need ownership and need change, then you need to develop a toolkit, which gives you confidence, which you can use, right? These are tools that drive implementation and action. These are tools that you can understand and use easily and well. These are tools that have proven to work in other husbands' marriages, right? It's a toolkit that that, hey, I got to work on this. I'm going to take that tool out. And when I say tool, obviously I'm not talking about physical tool. I'm talking about actionable steps that you can go implement. Okay? So once you become aware of what your areas of responsibility is, you then need to create a toolkit where there are tools in there which have been proven to work and allow you to action on them. Okay? And then, of course, last one, the next part is consistent action. Proven success at this point is your only reliable measure that you have available to trust that you are on the right path. Because your wife will not give you that satisfaction when you start to work on yourself and the marriage, right? You need to surrender and commit to consistently implementing the tools that you previously developed. okay, that you have in your toolkit. But you got to do it in a way where you're not actually doubting it. Okay? When you implement the tools that have proven to work over and over and over again, then it will give you the confidence to actually stick with it, regardless of how things look on the surface level. Okay? Which is going to tie into one of our next section around things being worse than better. Okay? So very important.
Yeah, and we get it, right? Most men don't need a map, right? They're going on a road trip from A to B with their wives, and um, the wife asks, "Hey, are we lost?" And typical husband, "No, we're not lost. We're just going a different way, right?" And um, but I do want to highlight for a lot of men who just got to slap, they are lost. We see it day in, day out when men join TBH. And they have been going, they've been going a different way for a long time, and they are about to run out of gas. Everything that Andre just spoke about, it's the map, right? TBH has the map, and it's a map that thousands of men have used, lost men that have used, who have actually made it safely to their destination. So you actually don't need to spend another night, another cold night alone in the wilderness trying to figure this stuff out on your own. There are thousands of men in a tribe who can relate to you, who can relate to what you're going through. Why? Because they've been there, they understand it,
Yeah.
but they also know what's available as a result of doing this work.
So important. So important and so critical. And I cannot emphasize that, right? And again, it really becomes your only anchor. When you hear from so many men, okay, if it worked for him, there must be something to it, right? That's really your only cling on, because your wife's not going to give you that satisfaction.